Misfits 12 is this Saturday, and Ashley Rak-Su versus OJ ROSÈ is billed to be the people's main event. Many are predicting Rak-Su to win, but more people are preferring OJ to win. So let's break it down and examine the fight in more detail to see who will prevail. It's clear that both fighters have a clear preference for taking the center ring immediately, but who will take the first step back. Based on what I've seen, it's more than likely that OJ will push Rak-Su onto the ropes. OJ has demonstrated good ring generalship and prefers to control the center ring. And from what I've observed from Rak-Su, it doesn't appear to take much to back him up, evident from his last 3 fights. The issue with OJ is that although he occasionally jabs on the way in like he's done in the past, he sometimes only comes forward with a high guard. OJ would, however, have a lot of success driving Rak-Su back if he double jabbed on the way in and then followed up with an overhand, but shown previously, even just walking forward would be enough to have Rak-Su on the ropes. To follow up on Rak-Su's bad tendency of easily backing up in a straight line, his defense and positioning while doing so is also concerning. He has a poor habit of leaving himself squared up, while keeping his guard down, which OJ could likely exploit on the night. Both fighters like to get aggressive from time to time, but when doing so, they both frequently leave themselves vulnerable to counter shots. Both have a bad tendency of letting down their guards when throwing combinations. This is something that Gabriel Silva was able to exploit against OJ and Anthony Taylor against Red. Rak-Su will have success with the jab due to OJ's defense, relies on a high guard in addition to ducking up and down, and it's been shown that a good jab or straight shot can get through OJ's high guard. Hence why OJ should learn how to parry jabs instead of attempting to defend them with a high guard. In addition to OJ's defensive flaws, he also has a bad tendency of staying in the same position when shelled up and ducking up and down, which is something Rak-Su could take advantage of. Given OJ's propensity to keep his eyes off his opponents when shelling up, it's more than likely that the shots will hurt OJ more, as he won't see some coming. Rak-Su prefers to use the hitman stance, keeping his lead hand low and backhand up. But the trouble is Rak-Su doesn't tuck his chin, which leaves himself very open to counterattacks. In addition to this, Rak-Su also drops his guard when throwing practically anything, such as jabs or hooks, and Anthony Taylor successfully exploited this, rolling Rak-Su's jab and coming up with an overhand which sent Rak-Su crashing down. OJ was able to execute the same counterattack against Kimbo Slice Jr., who is also a switch hitter like Rak-Su. OJ rolled the jab and answered with an overhand. This could be the money shot for OJ, especially since Rak-Su still makes the same mistake to date, rushing forward and dropping his guard. OJ has proven to have a solid punch selection. He knows what punch to throw at the right time and position. As mentioned earlier, I praised OJ's ring generalship and controlling center ring. This is how he successfully forces his opponents onto the ropes, where he'll begin to pick them apart with body shots and then follow up with shots upstairs. Rak-Su has shown to have a nice jab which will give OJ problems, and Rak-Su likes to get aggressive. One of the main reasons Rak-Su couldn't stop Ham was that he rarely set anything up, preferring to just start throwing anything, spending most of the fight head-hunting instead of attacking the body. However, as previously mentioned, the high pressure could work in Rak-Su's favor due to OJ's defense. Rak-Su lacks his power, and the reason for this is that he doesn't put his hips into his shots, instead he throws arm punches. Both fighters like to lean on their opponents in an attempt to wear them down. In this fight, this would heavily favor Rak-Su more due to the size advantage, but OJ's body shots are going to do some damage nonetheless. Rak-Su, I would say, is the faster fighter between the two, but OJ is the more skilled and powerful fighter. So let's address the question, who will win the fight? Based on everything I discussed in this breakdown, this looks to be an OJ ROSÈ win. Rak-Su could pull it off with the right style, but given his tendency of backing up, I believe OJ will pick him apart on the ropes for most of the fight, although it'll be difficult to defeat Rak-Su due to his size. Being the larger fighter, I see an OJ win on points or possibly late stoppage in a competitive matchup. Nonetheless, OJ should have his hand raised.